Hello everyone, my name is Priyanka Berge. I'm a training and development consultant and founder and director of Mika Majestics, a soft skills training academy. The topic of this video is effective communication skills. Now first I'm going to discuss with you what are communication skills, right? So now communication is you talk something to a person and that person understands what you're talking and takes necessary actions. That is communication skill. For example, if you are asking for a pen to some person and that person gives you his pen, that is communication. On the other part, you are asking for a pen to someone and that person keeps on repeatedly asking you what you want. It means he has not understood that you want his pen, right? So that is not an effective communication. An effective communication is you ask for something, you speak something, and the person understands it and takes necessary required actions or take necessary required decisions. That is effective communication. Now I'm going to discuss with you who can benefit from communication and how you can benefit by learning this effective communication skills. Now, as I've told you, communication is conveying your ideas and the person understanding those ideas. Okay. Now, communication is either verbal communication or a non-verbal communication. Okay. So now, for example, if you are at your workplace and your manager gives you a project. Now you are a team leader and you have to communicate that project, the goal of the project to your team. Now you explain what the project is to your team members. You try to tell them what you have to achieve through this project. But if your team members do not understand what you're trying to tell about the project, then that is not a good communication. And then your project will not be successful because your team is not able to understand what you're explaining about the project. They are not able to understand your perspective. They are not able to understand your views about the project. And then finally, they are not able to understand what goal you have to achieve through that project. What should be the necessary findings? What should be the ultimate goal of that project? They are not able to understand. Because you are not able to explain it effectively to them. They are not able to understand. And the project fails. As a team leader, you should be able to explain the project effectively to people. You should be explain what is going on in your mind about the project to people. You should be able to explain your perspective, your views on that project, and ultimately, you should be able to tell them what the goal of the project is. Only then you can work with the team on that project. So in such cases, you should be able to communicate effectively. You should know what are effective communication skills and you should be able to apply them. If you are in a meeting and you are requested to put up an idea and to share your idea, to explain it, with the necessary analysis, with the necessary support, then you should be able to do that in your meeting. If you're not able to explain your idea, if people don't understand your idea will be discarded on the spot in the meeting. So you need effective communication skills at your workplace. You need to talk to your manager, you need to talk in your team, you need to talk to your client, you need to talk to your colleagues. And if you don't know how to talk effectively, how to communicate effectively, how are you going to handle people? See, you are a human being. We all are human beings and we have to work with human beings forever. We have to work with people forever, right? Then you should know how to talk to people, how to communicate with people effectively. You should know that. And if you don't know that, it is surely going to bring you problems at your workplace. You have to handle meetings, you have to handle your team, you have to talk to your manager, You have to talk to your colleagues. You have to handle new clients. How are you going to do that? If you cannot put your idea in front of the client, if you're not able to understand the client, because you don't know effective communication skill, then how will you know the requirement of the client? How will you understand the need of the client? And then what will you provide to the client if you don't understand him? If you are not able to communicate properly to your client, what are you going to provide him? So if you want a good satisfied workplace for yourself, if you want your ideas to be accepted, if you want your work to be appreciated, if you want people to come to you, share their views, hear your views, discuss, then you should learn effective communication skills. If you want your work to get through, you should know effective communication skills. Imagine your day, your entire day, at your workplace, at your office. You have to talk to a number of people, right? You have to talk to your team, you have to talk to your manager, your clients, your colleagues. And you're talking for the entire day to different people in your office, right from your clerical staff to your colleagues. And whatever you're talking, people are not able to understand what you're talking. People are not able to understand your views. They are not able to get you. Then imagine your day at your office. At the end of the day, you will be so much irritated. You will think your day is just wasted because people are not able to understand you. And that is just because of not knowing or not using effective communication skills. Just imagine your day. And then if you don't know how to communicate effectively, just imagine your entire life at your office. How are you going to work effectively? And what about your productivity? What about your growth? So you must learn effective communication skills, whether it is your office or your personal life. If you want water and you're trying to tell someone that you want water, and person is not able to get you that you want water, what will happen? Will you die of water? You will struggle to communicate, right, that you want water. You will struggle to speak. Struggle to convey that person that you want water. Then why not learn effective communication skills for your workplace productivity? You must know that. You must learn. And then there are different types of communication skills that I'm going to discuss. So first I have told you what is communication skill, right? It is conveying something to someone and that person understands it and takes necessary actions. Like when you have a pet dog, by your body language or by your gestures, the dog immediately understands whether you're bringing him food, or whether you're bringing him water, or whether you're going to take him for a walk. It immediately understands it from your body language. That is effective communication. Then I've discussed who can benefit from learning effective communication skills and how you can benefit. The next point of discussion is the types of communication skills. Now there are two types of communication skills. Now you can see on the board, there are two types of communication skills. The first type is your body language. And the body language includes your facial expressions, your voice tonality, and the overall body language. And the second type is behavioral communication. That includes good listening, empathy, patience, clarity, positive attitude, and being honest and open. And the last set of communication that you can see on the board, that is utmost important, at least in this modern communication era, and that is social intelligence and closed-loop conversations. Now I'm going to step by step discuss each of the communication skill and tell you how you can improve it. Now the first one is body language. Now body language is a type of non-verbal communication, right? And it consists of eye contact, body posture, gestures, facial expressions, all these come into the body language. Now the first one is your body posture. So when you're speaking to someone, you're speaking on two terms. You're conveying your words, along with that you're also showing your body language, right? When a person is listening to you, when a group of people are listening to you, they are also listening to your words and they are very keen on your body language. Because half of your idea is conveyed through your body language itself. And so your body language is very important. So first thing in the body language is your body posture. Your body posture should be relaxed. Don't hold your body very stiff. Either when you're standing or when you're sitting also, don't hold your body very stiff. Keep your body calm and relaxed when you're speaking to someone or even when you're speaking to a group. The next thing is you should be upright when you're standing or when you're sitting also. So stand upright and sit upright. Do not lean forward or do not lean backward also. Your spinal cord should be straight when you're sitting and when you're standing also. That gives a positive sign of body language. Now next type of body language is your eye contact. Now when you're talking to a person and when you're talking to a group also, you should directly look into the eye of that person. You should directly look into eyes of people when you're talking to a group. Maintain good eye contact when you're talking to anyone for that case. Because maintaining a good eye contact also gives a positive sign of body language and it helps to properly convey your idea to other person. The other person helps to understand what you're trying to tell if you're looking into the eyes of that person. So it helps for proper understanding. Next type of body language is your gestures. See, many people have the habit of making unnecessarily hand movements into the air. Unnecessary hand movements. When you're talking, your hands should be apart from your body. Do not hold them stiff or do not make unnecessarily hand movements into the air. That gives a very bad sign of communication. Okay. So do not make unnecessarily movement of your hands or your feet also for that case. The next type of communication is facial expressions. Now by facial expressions I mean your eyes. Do not close your eyes when you're talking to a person or when you're talking to a group. Or do not unnecessarily blink your eyes when you're talking. Do not raise your eyebrows for no reason. That gives a very negative sign of communication. Do not show a grin on your face. Have a good, happy, smiling face when you're talking to people. Do not show your tensions and worries on your face. Why do that? Not necessary. Okay. Next is your voice tone. Now your voice tone is very important when you're talking. Voice tone is the way you speak. So if I speak very slowly or if I speak nasally, will people listen to me or will people understand me? Not at all. See, if I'm giving a business presentation, for example, and I talk in the voice of a cartoon, what will happen? People will laugh at me, right? People will tell me to stop and please leave, right? Because it's a business presentation. So voice tonality depends on where you're talking and to whom you're talking to. It depends on the situation. Now recall your voice tonality when you're talking to your kids. When you're talking to your kid, if you talk like a cartoon, then there it is justified. Because you're talking to a kid. There it is justified. But when you're giving a business presentation, when you're in a meeting, when you're addressing your team, when you're talking to your manager, you should have a strong and confident voice tone and not talk like a cartoon, right? If you have an unusual voice tone, your ideas will not be accepted. Just remember that. People will not listen to you. So your voice tone should be strong and confident. Your voice tone should be inspiring for people. Your voice tone should be strong but soft, rich and confident. So these are the three important types of communication skills that I've discussed: body language, facial expressions, and voice tonality. Now there are another set of communication skills. So apart from this traditional communication skills that I have discussed, this is a traditional tool actually, right? Your body language, your voice tone, your facial expressions, a traditional tool which is being used by people since ages. Since ancient times, people are trying to communicate through all these different moods. But now if you want to communicate in this modern world, you need a different approach, right? You also should be able to use some another important set of skills that are required in this modern world. In the modern workplace, in the corporate culture, you need these important skills. And the first one is good listening. You should be a good listener. If your manager is explaining you a project goal, you're a team leader, and you have to convey that same goal to your team members. You have to convey the project, you have to explain the project to your team members. You're a team leader. So when a manager is telling you about the project and handing it over to you, you should be a keen listener. You should listen what the manager is trying to convey for the project. What are the expected outcomes? What are the expected goals that you have to set for your project? You should try to listen what the manager wants from you, what he wants from the project. Because the same you have to convey to your team members, right? You should be a keen listener. You are into a meeting and into your own world of thoughts, and suddenly you are asked to give your view on a particular issue. What will happen? You will get confused. You will stumble, right? Because you were in your own thoughts. You were not listening. You were not mentally present into the meeting. You were into your own thoughts. You were not listening keenly to the meeting. And hence you will face a problem when you are asked to put your views about the issue. You should be a good listener when you are in a meeting. When you have a foreign client, you should listen very keenly to the person, because you want to know his requirements from the company. You want to know his goals. You want to know what he wants. And to understand your client, you should first listen very keenly to him. Or whether you're talking to your colleagues, whether you're talking to your manager, or for that case, anyone at your workplace, you should be a keen listener. Because when you listen, you are able to understand the perspectives of other people. You are able to understand the views of other people. And it helps you to focus on your goals and focus on your project. So if you're working in a team, either you are a team leader or a team member, when you listen keenly to your team members, you understand what is their way of thinking. And so that you can form a common ground to take the project forward, right? You have to take the project forward. You should build a common ground, and for that you have to listen to all the views of all your team members. You should be a good listener for that. Now the next communication skill is empathy. You should put yourself into others' shoes at times when it is required. You should know how other people feel, what other people think. Many times when you're working in a group, when you're working in a team as a team leader or a team member, there are lots of understanding gaps in your team. Many times, most of the times. And to fill up those understanding gaps, You must understand to each of your team member. You must listen to each of your team member. You must create a common ground of discussion. You must take regular conversations, regular discussions in your team to fill up the understanding gap. And for that, you should have empathy. You should welcome others' views. You should be able to understand others' views, understand what they are expecting from you. And that is empathy. The next skill is patience. Now you'll say, patience? We know this since ages, but we don't know how to use it, how to keep patience. You have to keep a lot of patience at your workplace. When you're in a meeting and when you put up an idea and your idea is rejected, you have to keep a lot of patience. Rework on your idea. Gather analysis, gather proofs, gather support, and represent your idea again with a lot of patience. Give time to set things right. If you want things to be done on your side, on your part, you have to keep a lot of patience. When you're working with a team, you have to keep a lot of patience. Because all the team members are not alike, right? Everyone cannot show the same kind of productivity, and so you have to be very patient with your team. You have to be very patient when you're putting up ideas. You have to be very patient at all the times, at all the places, at least at all the important places when you're communicating, at your workplaces, at your offices. The next skill is clarity. Now, if an idea is clear and concise, it is accepted, else it is rejected. You know that. Fuzzy ideas are not accepted, never. Only ideas with clarity, utmost clarity, are accepted immediately. So if you want your ideas to be accepted on time, if you want things to work on your part, you have to be very clear. You have to be very clear when you're putting up ideas. You have to be very clear with your expectations, with your goals, with your understandings, with your way of thinking. You have to be very clear with either your colleagues, your team members, your client. You have to be very concise and clear. Your idea should be concise, clear, and apt for them to be accepted. The next skill is positive attitude. So even if your idea is rejected, you have to keep a positive attitude and rework. A negative attitude will bring you down. So if you want to climb the ladder of success, you have to show utmost positive attitude. Even when you're talking to your team, even when you're working in a team, when you're talking to a client, you have to be very positive. It happens many times that your ideas do not match with other people. Your ideas do not match with your team members. Your ideas do not match with your client. But even at those times, you have to wait. You have to be very patient. You have to show a very strong positive attitude. Even if you disagree on certain terms, you have to show a positive attitude. Do not show on your face that you have not liked a particular thing. Wait. Be patient. Show a positive attitude. And then try to explain your perspective. Because all the team members do not have the same ideas, right? There is difference in the views and ideas of each and every team member, and you have to work as a team, right? As a team leader, you have to take all people together. All of you have to climb together, right? So you have to show a very positive attitude. The next skill is being honest and open. At times it will require that you need to share your problems to your manager or your team leader. And in that case, you have to be very honest and open. Share your ideas very openly so that people will come up with solutions, people will come up with good goals, people will come up with good views, and people will be able to understand you if you are honest and open. So these are the important set of communication skills that are required for a modern approach. So combine your traditional skills, that is body language, voice tonality, facial expressions, with these new modern skills. Good listening, empathy, patience, clarity, positive attitude, and being honest and open. And that will result into a very effective communication. Now, another set of skills which are very important in 2020 and above are, first one is social intelligence. Now, social intelligence means it is the ability to deal with social context. So it clearly indicates how you are in social groups. You should be able to know, or you should know what to speak, when to speak, where to speak, and how to speak. When you're in social groups, you should know what to share and how to share, what things to discuss, how to put up views when you're in social groups. So social intelligence explains how you are socially, how you put up your ideas socially, how you work together socially, how you understand people, how you take others' views. And that is social intelligence, and that is very, very important. Next is closed loop conversations. You have to exchange feedbacks, acknowledgements in your team, with your colleagues, for closed loop conversations, because you should not and cannot leave understanding gaps between people, understanding gaps between your team, and that makes very difficult to work together. So don't leave your conversations open-ended. Your conversations, either with your manager or your client or your team members, it should be closed loop conversations by sharing acknowledgements and feedbacks on time. It will help to fill up all the understanding gaps between your team members. So having all these communication skills together, or a combination, will give rise to an effective. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, click on the subscribe button which is below this video and subscribe my YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more such videos. Thank you.